Hi everyone, my name is Kim and I am Barbara's daughter. Thanks for coming by my Flosstube channel today. I'm excited to show you my stitching this week. Although I did not get a lot of stitching done this week, got hit with a migraine headache a couple days ago and I cannot stitch when that happens. So I actually was doing a little bit of hand quilting, and I will probably talk a little bit about quilting in general at the end of this video. I'll save that till after all the stitching in case you're not interested. So anyway, I thought I would start with questions from my last video. Tina said, I'm assuming your mom has a YouTube channel. What's the name of it? Barbara does not have a YouTube channel yet. Who knows? Maybe she will someday. But I would like to get her to come onto this channel with me. Right now, we live in New Jersey and we are still shut down, which means I'm not seeing my mom indoors. I've seen her a couple times outside, just kind of standing 6 feet apart and quarantining ourselves. But I haven't been in her house. She hasn't been in my house since the beginning of March, which is hard. But we just kind of feel like that's the right thing for us to do. So hopefully it will be over sooner than later. And I will be able to get my mom to come on here. Hear that, Mom? They want to see you. So we'll let you know when that's going to happen. Nancy wants to know, when stitching on 36 count, do I typically stitch 1/2? Yes, I do. I don't really care for stitching with 2 strands of thread because my stitches don't look that nice. So I try to stitch with just 1 thread whenever I can. Kathy, how did I get Sarah Spencer? She wants to do it, but she couldn't hear on my video how to get it. So Sarah Spencer is a design from Hands Across the Sea samplers. I will link them below. They're offering some charts as PDFs, which is not what they usually do, but during this time of social isolation and the coronavirus and everything, they are offering what they're calling little gems, and those are charts that you can download as PDF files. So I'll link the website down in the description box. Monica wants to know what fabric I'm using for Oh Joyous Day and the count, and that I will show you because I did make some progress on that, but I'm doing it on 36 count Toasted Cashew by Silkweaver. Lynn wants to know if I'm going to stitch Coming to America by Brenda Gervais. That is a special chart that Brenda has coming out, I believe, in September. And yes, I did already pre-order it. I pre-ordered mine from Kitten Stitcher, and I will link her below as well. You can order them from, I think, pretty much any shop online or a LNS. So you can ask your shop if they're going to carry that. And I'll put a picture here of what that pattern is going to look like. I ordered a kit. I'm not sure if you can order just the pattern or if you have to order the kit. I ordered the kit with fabric, and it comes with a special box and all that stuff. So Maureen wants to know what I think of color and cotton fabric. Apparently she's worried about shrinkage. So if you buy 32 count linen, is it like stitching 34 or 35? And do I take that into account when I buy it? It doesn't really bother me if a linen shrinks. Picture This Plus does tend to shrink a little bit as well, and I will stitch on either 32 or 36 count Picture This Plus, and I feel the same way about color and cotton. I don't notice that much of a shrinkage with color and cotton as much as Picture This Plus, but it doesn't really bother me because I get better coverage that way since I'm just using the 1 strand. So I do think there is some shrinkage. You'd have to kind of test it out to see what you're comfortable with, and it will not be exactly like a 32 count that is not hand dyed. My friend Lori wants to know if I'm going to put Lady of the Flag on a frame to bead it. Lori, I don't own any frames. So I don't have a Q-snap, I don't have a hoop, I've got nothing because I don't use them, I just stitch in hand. So no, I'm not planning on putting her on a frame to bead. I'm just going to sit there on the couch with it in my lap and give it a try. If that doesn't work, of course, I will see if I need to invest in some kind of hoop or Q-snap, but for now, I'm planning on just winging it. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try and work on that not this coming week, but maybe the following week. Once we get into June, I'd like to get the beads done. My husband made a frame for her, so I'm excited to finish Lady of the Flag for real and get her done and in the frame. And Rafaela asked how long did it take me to finish Lady of the Flag, and I believe I started her December 22nd, 2018. I did not work on her throughout that whole time, there were months and months when I didn't work on her. And I don't, until I started doing Flosstube, I wasn't writing down every day what I was stitching on. So I don't even know how many days I sat and worked on her. If I had worked on her constantly, only her, I would think it would have taken me a matter of like 6 months, maybe, if that was the only thing I worked on, because it is a big project. So that's the best I can guess as to a time for that. So thanks for all those questions. And another bit of housekeeping I want to get out of the way right off the bat is my giveaway for project bags. And thank you, Mom, for making these project bags and allowing me to give them away. So I have 2 project bags. One is the Stars, the patriotic one with the vinyl cover. They both have a vinyl cover. The other one is Beach Umbrellas with like a fun beachy fabric there. So I put into the YouTube comment picker the URL and the comments and everything. So the first winner will be for the patriotic bag, and that winner is the Dixie Stitcher. So congratulations. I will comment on your comment, and you can go ahead and message me on, I'll leave my email address below, and you can send me your snail mail address and I'll mail the project bag out to you. So I'm just going to write her name down. She won the patriotic one, and then we'll do it again. Pick another winner for the beach bag. And that winner is Diane Callahan-Caro. So congratulations, Diane. I will again make a comment on your post, and then you can give me your address and I'll send it out to you. So congratulations. I'm sure that will not be the last project bag given away on this channel, but enjoy. And now maybe we'll get into my whips. I had no finishes. I take that back. I actually had a lot of finishes because what I can't show you this week is I'm working on a little project, secret project. I took a film of the finishes that I had so far, and when I have gifted these projects to their recipients, then I will put that video into my Flosstube, but that's probably not going to be for another week or 2 yet. So a lot of what I stitched on, I can't show you this week. You will see it eventually, but I had a lot of little small finishes this week for that project, but no finishes that I'm showing you here today. I did make good progress on Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs, and I'm trying to finish this because I have a couple other Blackbirds that I want to start, big ones, and I really love this, but I have a feeling if I start those other Blackbirds, I'm not going to spend as much time as I should on this one. And I was trying to just finish this middle section here, which I did. So let me just clip that on and show you. Now in the middle of the middle section, there's a spot to put your initial, I guess it's supposed to be like a marriage sampler. So your initials, your spouse's initials, and then the date is on the right there, and then you can put the words Oh Joyous Day up there, and all that's over one, which is fine. I don't mind doing that, but I just didn't like the way it all looked and how the date was over to the left and things weren't centered, and I didn't like that. So I left it blank. This is what I've got so far. So you can see there's a blank spot above the house that I haven't filled in with anything yet. I've done all the letters and the bird and the house and the flower pot, but I didn't fill in anything above the house because I'm not sure what I'm going to put there yet. I might just do my initials and my husband's initials. I might just do Oh Joyous Day, but move it down and center it. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to leave that go. And what I need to do next is the bottom section, which is the 5 flowers going across the bottom. And I don't think that's going to take me too terribly long. These up here, this took me like 3 or 4 days, nights of working on it. So especially if I work on this on the weekend when I have more time, I'm actually hoping I can get that section done. I have the dividing bands here and the alphabet, and then those flowers. So I would love to get this done this week. I'm not sure if I will, if my attention span will hold, but I'm gonna try to get this done because I really, like I said, have some other Blackbird pieces that I want to start. Last week, I showed you a picture of Prim Village in Christmas colors, and at the time I could not remember whose picture that was because I just saved the photo. I didn't save the person's post from Facebook, but I found her on Instagram. Her name is Tedra Jeter, and I'm going to put the picture in here too, so just to remind you what it looked like. And I'm so glad that I found her post because I really love the Christmas colors. And I was able to do one house here. This is on 36 count, Winter's Brew by R&R. It's teeny, teeny, tiny little house. Like, here's my phone, and there's the house. That's how small it is. I want to show you the colors I picked. So I've got 6 greens and 6 reds. Some are Victorian, most are Victorian motto, but I do have some other classic colorworks and such. So you have to pair them up because the houses are 2 different colors, like a lighter shade here and a darker shade there. And I think that's just to give it that 3-dimensional look so you can see where the front of the house is versus the side. So I have paired up here Victorian motto garden greens and evergreen pine, so those 2 will be one house. I have, it's probably easier if I put this down, pine needles and pea pod by Classic Colorworks, and they're very similar, but that pea pod on the bottom is a little bit lighter. I don't know if you can see that. So those will be a house. And then this winter wheat and favorite greenery by Victorian motto will be the 3rd type of greenhouse that I do. And then I have, for reds, Red Rose by Victorian motto paired up with the Gentle Arts Buckeye Scarlet. I've got Rustic Rosebuds and Red Velvet by Victorian motto, both of those. And you can see, like, this one has more of a contrast than the last 2 did. And that's okay. It took me a really long time to pick these colors. I'm just going with it now. I'm not sure I'm 100% happy with them, but I'm just going with it. That house actually turned out really nice, I thought. I'm happy with it. And that was Garnet Special and Licorice Red. Those are the 2 I used on the house that you see here. Garnet Special and Licorice Red. So I'm happy with how that came out. It is only 1 strand on 36 count. I think the coverage is good, but you do kind of see some fabric through it, which doesn't bother me. I'm using, let's see, Prairie Flower by Victorian motto for the lights in the windows. And some people are using white for that. You can use whatever color you want for lights or lights off in the windows. And for the chimney, roof, and door, I'm using Classic Colorworks Wagon Wheel for the brown. So on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, my account is KimLehman7 on Instagram. And I had done this one little house and then said, you know, this is so cute and tiny. I wonder if instead of doing all 12 houses as one piece, maybe I should make little ornaments out of them. So last year I made some Christmas ornaments. I'm going to put some pictures up here so you can kind of get an idea of the type of ornament I'm thinking of. This one would be a square shape because I wouldn't do the quilt blocks that are in the pattern for Prim Village. I would just do the house. And I would do a bunch of red houses and a bunch of green houses, and I would probably back them all in the same fabrics with the same ribbon just to make them look like they belong together. And then I would have a set to put on my tree. I can fit probably about 12 on here, whether I do them as ornaments or as one piece. So on Instagram, I did like one of those polls in my stories, and it was almost 50-50. Some people said ornaments, some people said one whole piece, and I know what I like, but I don't want to tell you what I'm thinking because I don't want to influence your opinion, because I'm going to ask you what you think. Should I do Prim Village as one whole piece, or should I do in ornaments like the ones I just hopefully have shown you in the pictures? So I'd be interested in what you think of that. All right, the last thing I worked on was a new start, and it is American Sampler by Plum Street. Let me grab the picture here. And I would have gotten a lot more of this done had that migraine not hit me, because I was doing really well. So there's American Sampler by Plum Street. And I have a pretty good start on it. I went all the way across the top with the vine and the flag, and then I moved down to the other flag, the star, and started on the roof and the windows in the top of the roof. This is a really big sampler, but it's going very fast. I think this was 2 nights that I worked on this, and I got all this done. And I would have worked on it last night as well and gotten more of this. I think I probably could have finished this roof, but migraine got in the way. So I love working on this. I'm excited to get to the house that's, I don't know if you can tell in the picture, it's bricks down there in the main part of the house. So I'm excited about that. I'm stitching this on 36 count Sparrow by Luminous Fiber Arts. That's Misty Purcell. And I love her fabric. I do stitch in hand, as I've mentioned. And for me, enjoying a fabric means I like the way it feels when I'm holding onto it. I don't really mind if it's soft or if it's stiff, although too stiff and crunchy is not good. But this just has such a nice feel to it, and I really like it. And the color, I think, is perfect for these floss colors. These are the called for floss colors. So I'm really excited about this. I'm going to try and stick with this one and Oh Joyous Day this week and really get some good progress on those two done, hopefully. I don't know if I'll be able to stitch again today. I have what I call the headache hangover, so I can do just about everything, but looking at those tiny holes, straining my eyes a little bit might not be the greatest idea. So what I've been doing when I can't stitch is I've been doing some hand quilting on a quilt that I am working on. I'll put a picture or two here to show you. This is a quilt that's going to go on my bed, and it's about halfway quilted. Somewhere along the way, I decided I would do it by hand. My mom does have a long arm quilt machine, so usually if I make a quilt top, I will take it over there and machine quilt it. I used to hand quilt everything before she had that machine. I love the process of hand quilting. I love the way it looks, but I just don't have time to hand quilt everything, especially since I want to cross stitch. So I've mostly done machine quilting, but I wanted to do this one hand quilted, and I'm enjoying it, but I need to really focus on getting it done. I'm hoping by the end of the summer it'll be done. I don't know if you noticed, I put my quilt ladder back here with some quilts on it just because that wall was looking kind of lonely and bare back there, and I figured you didn't need to stare at a blue wall. By the time I got something stitched back there, it might be a while. So I thought I'd put some quilts back there. And I have a couple other quilt projects that I'm going to be working on that I just thought I would show you, because I know some people are quilters or just interested in quilting. And if you're not, that's fine. You don't have to stay tuned for this part. But I have some projects that I found when I went through some stuff in the basement that have been around for a while, and it's time for me to finish them up and do something with them. So the first one is a Baltimore Quilt album that I started working on based out of this book, Baltimore Basics, and these are hand-pieced blocks. Let me just show you. And it will show you a picture of the block, give you the pattern, show you how to hand applique the pieces down, and then it will give you ideas for layouts and that sort of thing. So this is a nice book if you are interested in Baltimore album quilts. My intention was to make 9 blocks, and I made 8 of them, and then I stopped, and I put the box of 8 blocks downstairs and did not touch them since. So it's time to get them out and do something with them, and there's no way that I'm going to hand applique this 9th block. It's just not happening. That's why the box has been sitting down there in my basement for years, because I don't want to hand applique that last block. I think I did a relatively okay job at it, but it's so far from what I'm interested in doing right now. I have other quilting things that I'd like to do. Hand applique is just not one of them right now. So here are my 8 blocks that I have done so far. So that's one. There's another one. These are, I think they're about 11-inch blocks, but they're supposed to end up being 10-inch blocks. I have to cut them down. Make sure this is going right side up here. Here's number 4. And I did these years ago. So I want to do something with them. And at first I thought, well, I'll make a pieced block to go in the center, a 10-inch pieced block that uses some of the same fabrics, and then I'll have 9 blocks to make the quilt that I intended to make. So that was a couple months ago, maybe 6, 8 months ago, that I decided, okay, I'm going to do a piece block. Told my mom about it, found a pattern, all ready to do it. Nope, didn't do it. Put it back in the basement because I don't really want to make a piece block either. I just want to be done with this. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to make 2 4-block quilts, like to go on a table or something. I'm going to take these downstairs today and I'm going to sew them together. I haven't decided if I'm going to put sashing in the middle. Where'd my book go? They show it both ways. Let's see if I can find the page. Okay. So they show your 4-block quilt there with and without sashing. I think the thing I don't like about this whole thing is the border, floral border fabric. That's not what I would pick. It's too pinky for me, for the colors I chose. So that's distracting me from knowing whether I like the sashing or not. I'm going to have to go downstairs and play around with it. Part of me thinks I don't want the sashing in it, but I also don't know how they're actually going to line up with each other and whether I need that sashing to distract from maybe not having done the blocks perfectly. So we will see. But next time I come on here, I should have 2 small quilt tops to show you because I'm going to go do that today because that is something I can do without straining my eyes, is piece those together. The other project I have that I really would like to finish, and this will not happen today, but I had bought this book, Mary's Favorite 1930s Quilts, and I love 30s fabrics. I love feed sack fabrics. I've done a couple quilts with 30s fabric. I can bring those and show you another time. This book and the fabric to go with it, what quilt was I doing in here? Let me find it. Tumbling Block Star. I bought this book, fabric, at a quilt shop in Allentown, New Jersey that I don't think is still there anymore. At least 15 years ago. My mother-in-law actually bought me this whole set. I think it might have been like a birthday gift or something for me. She went with me to the store. We picked it all out. She bought it for me. I've never finished it because here's how crazy I was pre-kids. I was hand piecing these blocks. So I was taking plastic diamond shapes, sewing fabric about each one of these, sewing them together, and then sewing those together. What am I, crazy? I don't have time for this. I have 2 kids and a job and way too many hobbies. So this is not happening. So what I'm going to do, I have 1 row of 1, 2, 3, I guess 7 together. I'm going to take this row apart because it's all done by hand. So I even whip stitch this together, which means it'll be super easy to snip it apart. So then I'm going to have 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm going to have 12, great number, 12 of these blocks. I'm going to make a template out of plastic that is the whole size of the hexagon. And then I'm going to make another 12, or I guess I maybe need 13 hexagons, solid color. I think my mom has 30s fabric. I'm pretty sure she does. So I'm going to get some 30s fabric, raid mom's stash. I'm going to cut out the hexagons out of plastic templates, hand sew those 13 hexagons, and then whip stitch them together so it goes pieced hexagon, solid hexagon, pieced hexagon in a row, 4 across. Alternate the rows, put it together. Then what I'm going to have to do is, there's like a gap. I'm going to have to get the white fabric, which I have extra white fabric. I'm going to have to fill in the edges to make the edges straight. I mean, unless I wanted hexagonal edges on my quilt. I don't know. I'll have to see how it looks. This is a long-term project, longer term than my first one, but I'm going to get this done because I feel kind of bad. It's been sitting here. I love the fabric. Someone purchased it for me as a gift. I need to finish this. But I'm obviously not going to make, at this point in my life, this by hand. No, I don't have the time for that. So that's my second quilting project that will have to be done a little bit later on after I work out the rest. Let me just see if there's anything else. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to mention. Last week, I had put in the drop-down menu a link to an Etsy shop where I found 3 patterns that I loved. The first one that I think a lot of other people liked was Cherry Blossom. Some people went to that shop afterwards and said it was sold out. I'm not sure how that happens. I didn't realize PDF patterns could be sold out. But if you find that those patterns are sold out, I did notice that 1884 Stitchery has that cherry blossom pattern, and I will link that below in this video in case you are still looking for that cherry blossom pattern. I guess it was a really popular pattern, and so perhaps if the seller had on Etsy only a certain amount allotted at a time, you might have gone and seen that it was sold out. So there are other places that you can get it, and I will link one of those places below. I think, last but not least, a couple thank yous and shout outs before I go. My friend Kathy at To Dye House just had a new video, so go on over and watch her because she's awesome. And thank you so much, Kathy, for mentioning my channel. Stitcher Girl, G-U-R-L, is someone I have started watching based on, she commented on one of my videos, and usually when you have a name like that as your YouTube name, I click on it and say, oh, do you have videos? Can I watch someone else, someone new on YouTube? So I found her that way, and I really like a lot of the things that she's stitching. She's done a couple Mania videos lately, so you can check her out. And the last one for this week that I started watching was Blue Bonnets and Whiskey, which is a great name for a Flosstube channel. And also just, I like what she's stitching, and she has a great tutorial that a lot of people have been watching. If you're doing the berry bowl sampler, where you, or any piece really, where you're stitching 2 pieces of fabric together for making 1 piece to stitch on, she has a great tutorial for that. So I'll link all those Flosstubers below and check them out. And I think that's everything I have for today. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully my migraine head did not impede the video too much and I made sense while I was talking. And I'm hoping to get a lot more stitching done next week and some quilting to show you next week too. So until then, I hope you are all healthy and well and getting a lot of stitching time yourself. Bye-bye.